welcome back to my channel. I am Arie, a travel business owner and a travel business coach. So if you're seeing this video, it means that you're either a new agent on my team, you've been on my team and you kind of want a little refresher, or you're a part of Team Relentless and watching this from my YouTube channel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Congratulations if you're a new agent. Today we're going to be talking about how to register for travel suppliers. So now that you're a travel business owner, you have the opportunity to book directly with travel suppliers. I'm talking about all of your major industry suppliers like the major cruise lines, Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Celebrity Cruises, Virgin Voyages, the all-inclusive in the Caribbean. You could book directly with resorts, or you could book with tour operators like Vacation Express or Apple Vacations, FunJet, Southwest Vacations. I know you've heard of some of these. I'm going to walk you guys through the process of how to get started with not only registering with suppliers, but going through the steps to select the suppliers that are specific to what you're trying to do, specific to the niches and specialties that you want to work with, right? So you just became a travel business owner, you just joined my team. You're going to go ahead and use your unique identifiers and log into our back office, and it's going to look something like this. So you're going to receive your temporary passcode and your PIN to be able to create an account and log into IntelliTravel, and this is what the back office is going to look like for you. And as soon as you do that, you'll be able to go to book travel and then scroll all the way down to preferred partners. Preferred partners, these are going to be the suppliers that we use to book with. Before you even get to this part, right, I want you to think a little bit about why you wanted to become a travel business owner, the things that you're personally interested in as far as booking travel. I think it's very important to choose your specialties and niches based on what you already like. So take, for instance, my situation. I'm a huge fan of all-inclusives in the Caribbean and cruises, right? So those are the things that I've decided to build my travel business around, and I work with suppliers who offer these things. I think when you choose things that you already have interest in, or you already like, or you want to explore, you'll show up doing it. So those are the reasons why I would advise you to choose something that you already like or something that you have interest in, right? So once you've thought about that, you've thought about your why, and now you're going to explore the different partners that we work with to be able to match your why and the things that you like with suppliers that you want to start booking with. I recommend starting with one or two things, and then once you've mastered those, then you add more things to your roster, because you have already went through the process and know how to do that. So we're going to start off here at the IntelliTravel Partner Directory. I'm not going to dig too much into this, but I just want to show you guys the tools that you have access to right here in back office to be able to navigate and get the answers that you need. Now, if you're a part of my team, it means that you have access to my private group chat for agents that are only sponsored by me. So you could go in there 24/7 and ask your questions, and either myself or other agents on the team will be able to assist you and walk you through things. You also have access to Team Relentless, which is another private group on Facebook that has up to 2,000 agents in there who, I mean, if your question has not been already asked, where you're able to use the search tab, you can ask that question, and at any given time of the day, you'll be able to get responses from new agents to people who are directors, okay? So those are additional resources that you have, but I just wanted to create this video just to give a little walkthrough for the people who, want to do things on their own time, the people who, shy away from asking questions, or you're just not finding what you need. I want to walk you through the entire process of finding what suppliers you need to work with and how to register for them, right? So this is basically our preferred partner list. Now, if a supplier is not on this list, it doesn't mean that we don't work with them. These are just the ones that we have a closer relationship with. That's why it says preferred. But as long as a tour operator, a supplier, airline, whatever, as long as they accept U.S. travel agent credentials, and that's your clear number, that's your agency IATA number, as long as they accept that, you're able to work with them even if they're not on this list, right? So some good information here, but we're gonna scroll right to what we need. Let me try and zoom in a little bit so that you guys could see the wording a little bit better. Okay, I think that's enough. Let's see. Is there a scroll bar? Okay, here we go. There was a scroll bar. Okay, so right here, it kind of goes into it, but I only want to dig into two different types of ways that you could register. This first one is requested registration. It's in the red, and based on the supplier you choose, it's going to let you know whether it's a requested registration or if it's self registration, or what I'm seeing here is assisted registration, which I don't think, okay, I think that's the live chat option. So it's going to show you which method you need to use to register with this supplier, right? So if it's a request that needs to be made, you're going to have to go to the back office and do it that way. And I'm going to walk you through that process right now. If it's assisted registration, you do it through back office as well. If it's self-registration, it means that you go directly to the travel agent portal, and I'm going to walk you through that as well, right? So it even gives you a little table of contents here to show you the suppliers that are going to be listed here. And how many pages do we have? It's like 79 pages of suppliers. These are all preferred partners that we work with. So let's say, okay, I decided that I want to work with, let's scroll down here and see. Well, okay, so American Airlines, a lot of us are familiar with American Airlines, right? So it's going to give you a brief overview on the supplier, and any travel agent benefits that are available to you are going to be listed here as well, any kind of promotions that they're having. But the most important part, well, there are two most important parts. Their contact information, how you can get registered, which you're going to find right here on the contact, and then even more importantly, the commission, right? It's going to explain how much each supplier pays out as far as commission. And then right here you see it says self-registration. So remember, self-registration is when you go directly to the travel agent portal and register yourself, right? So keep that in mind. So now it's telling you, even though it says self-registration right here, it's even going as far as telling you where do you go to register. So you see advisor right here, and you see aavacations.com/agent. Now I could have also came about this information by just Googling American Airlines vacation for travel agents or travel agent portal or anything along those lines, and that's what you would have to do for a lot of suppliers. Like, let's say you don't know if a supplier works with travel agents, just Google it. Just Google, let's say I didn't know if, what's the supplier that everyone doesn't even, let's say Villas of Distinction. They're now a preferred partner with us, but let's say I didn't know if they worked with travel agent. I could just Google Villas of Distinction for travel agents or travel agent portal, and that will tell you everything you need to know, and if there is a portal, to be able to click on it and see what options are. And then let's say they did have a travel agent portal, but it is a situation where they wanted your administrator. If you see anything about administrator registering you, that means it's your host agency. So with us, we're coming back to IntelliTravel. So worst case scenario, they say, well, you can't register here. You have to do it through your administrator. Then you'll contact your host agency. But if they have a travel agent portal and it's not listed here, just go ahead and try to register on their site. And then if you come here and it says self-registration, you're going directly to their site, and it's a good idea to pick, I want to say 2 to 3 suppliers per niche. So since we're going to do a scenario with me, I'm into cruises and I'm into all-inclusive in the Caribbean. I'm going to find 3 suppliers for each niche, and after I find those suppliers and I've been through the registration process, I'm going to go ahead and start playing around with their travel agent portal, right? I'm going to start trying to navigate their portal. I'm going to start doing their training. I'm going to see what's most user-friendly to me. And then once I find one that I like, I'm going to stick to that one, right? I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to master it. And what happens is with repetition, you realize that you start to build a lot more confidence. You start to learn how to navigate not only their portal, but know how everything works. Know how their insurance waivers work. Know how, their entire system works as far as like adding trips, splitting rooms, doing all these things. When you stick to one supplier, you master one at a time. In my opinion, it kind of makes you an expert with them versus, spreading yourself thin and wanting to work with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 suppliers and not really mastering any one. But that's just my opinion. Of course, you have free range as an independent agent to do as you please. So if I was a new agent and I was to go ahead and I want to say, okay, I want to add American Airlines to my roster, I'm going to go to this website right here and I'm going to self-register myself. I would go ahead and jot down these important emails and numbers, right? And BDM numbers, so that if I do have any issues or whatever, I already have the contact information and I'm not scrambling to find it when the issues come up. So, a lot of this business is being proactive and not only, trying to be, how should I say this? When it comes to customer service or any kind of entrepreneurship, you want to be able to solve the problem before it even arises, right? So you need to have these things on hand, right? So let's say I wanted to go to American Airlines. That's one. I would have went and registered myself. Now let's scroll down. Let's find a cruise line. One of the popular ones. Asmara is one, but it's not as popular as like Carnival, right? So Carnival, same deal, right? Tells you a little bit about the cruise line. And it's going to tell you exactly where you go to register. Does it tell us if it's... Well, I already know it's self-register, but okay, here it is. So here you have that commission information, and you also have that supplier registration. It's self-registration. And I need to find one that says assisted. Okay, here we go. So here's one that's assisted registration. I'm going to show you guys both, right? This is Celebrity. And I know that's with Cruising Power. So assisted registration, it means that you cannot go to cruisingpower.com and register. You have to do it through your host agency, right? So you see it has advisor portal right here, cruisingpower.com. You do not go to this until you have login information. And since it's assisted, it means you're getting this information from your host agency. You're applying for registration with them. It is very important to go through this process as a new agent. Before you tell anyone that you're a travel business owner, you need to make sure that you actually have access to these suppliers to book with them, and not the other way around, right? You don't want to tell people, okay, I'm a travel agent, I'm going to specialize in cruises. Okay, well, get me a cruise to this and this place. Then you're scrambling trying to register. These things take time. Let's say they could take anything from 24 to 72 hours for you to even get a response with your login and email. And half the time it'll come in like 24 hours, but a lot of people miss the opportunity because some suppliers, and I know Delta specifically is really popular for this, they send you the code to log in, but it expires in like 15 minutes, right? Sometimes it gets lost in people's emails, their spam box or whatever, and they don't see it, and these things cause a delay. So it's very important to be proactive, and my accent's coming out. Be proactive and do these things before you announce that you're a travel business owner, right? Now let's look for one more, and then we're going to jump into actually registering and showing you guys the two different ways. Centrav, let me see, how do you do, I think Centrav is self-registration, if I remember. Yeah, it is self-registration. So you basically go through all of these and you look at the destination you read these and see what destinations it services and see if it's something that's within your niche. Remember, we're looking for 2 to 3 suppliers per niche. We're starting off with just 2 specialties to begin with. That's something I coach my team to do because I just think that you don't want to get overwhelmed. You see how many suppliers and how much access we have. You don't want to start off doing everything because it never fails. You start off doing everything and you get super overwhelmed because there's just so much going on. You want to be able to, be specific and be very intentional about your goals. So be specific, pick a niche. When you pick a niche, go ahead and pick 2 or 3 suppliers that cater to your niche and specialty. After you've done that, then you go ahead and register with them. Then you go ahead and try and learn their system, learn how everything goes. Start booking trips with them, start offering travel deals with them, and then you'll be more confident because you're doing it. When every time you repeat it and you book a trip, you get more confident, right? So let's look for one more. What's another popular one that we work with? Who's this? Delta. Okay, Delta is telling us that They're showing us their commission, and then they're also telling us that we need to request registration, right? Okay, so let's talk about these two different types of registration practices. We're going to start first with the request registration. So you're going to log into back office. Every time you hear me say back office as a new agent, just know that I'm referring to IntelliTravel. That's our back office, right? You see this live chat button down here. I want you to keep this in mind because I'm going to mention it later, and this is where you find it at the bottom of the page. So I'm going to go to help, right? And then we're going to go to IntelliHelp Hub. Once I enter IntelliHelp Hub, I'm going to submit a ticket. Once this populates, I'm going to select, I'm just going to skip right here to ticket type, and then we're going to look for supplier registrations, because that's what we're doing, right? We're registering the suppliers. This is super easy to do, right? And then you're going, once you select supplier registrations, you're going to get a drop down right here that basically gives you a list of all the suppliers that you need to register with this way. If it's on this list, it means that you need to go through this process to register for it. So let's say we decided, okay, as all-inclusive, we want to work on all-inclusive in the Caribbean. I'm going to go ahead and register for Delta. I want to register for Vacation Express. Not fun fact, but I want to make something really clear. Vacation Express, and a lot of people get this confused, you have access to right away. Meaning, as soon as you sign up and you have access to back office, you could come in here and register for Vacation Express right here. VAX, Vacation Access, which is totally different, is something that you have to wait for 2 months. That's 60 days in business as a travel business owner before you have access to VAX. And then you go through this process and come back. VAX is kind of like a supplier that houses multiple suppliers. So within VAX, you have Apple Vacations, Southwest Vacations, Travel Impressions, Blue Sky Tours, FunJet, United Vacations. I said Southwest 2 times because I love Southwest. So all of those are housed within VAX, and you have to be an agent, an active agent for 60 days in order to have access to this specific supplier. Every other supplier on this list and on the preferred partners list is exempt from that rule, and you have access to it from day one being a travel agent. You just have to register, right? So we're going to register for Delta Vacations, right? So once we select supplier registrations, we select the supplier that we want to register with. We're going to go ahead and submit a ticket, right? You don't have to enter anything else. Just submit the ticket, and you'll get a response back from this email, which is going to include your temporary password, temporary login ID, or whatever the case may be, where you'll have access to register for Delta Vacations on their portal. They're also going to mention whatever the portal is that you'll be using. They'll have it in that email as well to direct you. Now, how do you know what suppliers need to be registered with assistance through IntelliTravel back office? 2 ways. You know it by references that preferred partners list that we just went through, where it shows you how you need to register. That's the number 1 way. Number 2 is you come right back here. Right? If it's on this list, if it's listed right here, it means that you have to register this way. It means that you can't go on Delta Vacations and register from their travel agent portal, right? You can't go to Fairbuzz and register from their travel agent portal. You can't do that with Holland America. You can't do it with MSC Cruises or Norwegian. You have to register it with assistance from IntelliTravel right here in back office. Okay? So that's number 1. Now, let's say we wanted to book with Carnival, right? Remember when we were on the preferred partners list, we saw Carnival and we saw that it was self-registration. Now, Carnival is not on this list, right? So you could literally go to Carnival and sign up with them. Now, let's say, we already looked at the preferred partners list, and it already told us what website to go on to book for Carnival. But let's say we didn't know, right? So we now understand how to register with assistance. We come here, and then remember when I told you guys the live chat option. So let's say it's been 72 hours excluding the weekend, and you haven't heard anything back. Like, I want access to Delta. I haven't heard anything back from IntelliTravel about my registration. You would now go ahead and select that live chat option and say, hey, this is my PIN number, here are my credentials. They'll ask you for some information to verify your identity, like your address. Once you give them that information, just let them know, hey, I registered on this day for Delta. I haven't received access yet. And usually they're able to help you right away within that chat, and go ahead and make sure that you have that link to go ahead and get started up. Some agents skip this whole process and go directly to the live chat. It's not the way things work, but it's your prerogative, however you want to go about doing things. So now let's say I wanted to do Carnival. I had no idea what the travel agent portal for Carnival was. I could simply go online and be like, Carnival travel agent portal. Okay, and this is me as a new agent not even knowing where I need to go. Now, if I've watched this video, I would know that I will be able to go to Preferred Partners directory and just scroll down, look for it, and see exactly where I need to go. But if I didn't know that, right? And as a new agent, I'm telling you, I didn't look through that directory. I just went straight to Google, and I still have that practice now. I'm a Google, everything is Google, right? And would y'all believe I've done so many tutorials? I've done tutorials for Travel Joy, I've done tutorials for Vacation Express, and I haven't done one training for them. I just love Google, and I love playing around with portals. I love learning things. I love calling into the customer service center. As a new agent, I want you to understand that it's okay to call these customer care centers. When you call and they're like, if you're a travel agent, press 1. If you're a travel agent, press 2. There's people on the other side of the line literally waiting to service you, to answer your questions, to help you learn how to offer deals, help you learn how to book travel, help you with anything that you need to get you closer to that commission. That's their job. So don't be afraid to call them. I can remember being on the phone with Virgin Voyages rep for like an hour or two, literally walking me through an entire cruise booking. It's okay. You have questions, go ahead and grab a notebook. So I was looking for my notebook because it's always within reach. Grab a notebook, write all your questions down, call them up. Hey, these are some questions I have. Go ahead and put your group together, put a trip together, and be like, hey, I had some questions about this before I even applied the deposit. I had some questions about insurance. I would read these insurance, the waivers, all this insurance stuff, and I'll still call them to verify, right? So it's okay to do that. So as a new agent, I'll go Google Carnival Travel Agent Portal because I have no idea where to go. I didn't check the partner guide directory, and it pops up right here. Go CCL. Log in to register, and it has all information right here, right? So we're gonna select this. This is the same website that's listed in the partner directory. And since I already have an account or two, I don't want to log in, but I want to register now. Okay, I'm going to explain to you guys how to do this. I can't really click the register button because I already have an account, but let's walk you through. This is the most simplest way to register, so that's why I chose Carnival. However, all of these suppliers, they basically have similar setups, right? They might have different terminology, and I'm gonna make sure I mention some of these for you guys today, so that if you see it, you'll understand. So you're gonna go through here and just fill everything out. So it's asking for your title, your name, your last name, your birthday, easy stuff, right? Travel agent phone number, travel agent email. If it says travel agent phone number, travel agent email, you're the travel agent. This is your phone number. This is your email, right? You don't want to put IntelliTravel's number here, because if anything is going on with your client's booking, anything needs to be canceled, whatever the case may be, you don't want them calling IntelliTravel. You want them calling you directly. You want them emailing you directly. If anything happens, let's say you have a group trip or you have anything you need to update an itinerary, and they're going to go ahead and send it to you, you want to make sure that's your email so you actually receive it and not IntelliTravel's email, right? Now, here's where it gets tricky, because everyone's like, okay, what's agency name? Like, is that my LLC travel name that I thought of? Is it IntelliTravel? Like, who is this, right? So get in the mindset that you work with a host agency. So when you register for any of these suppliers and they say travel agent, that's you. If they say independent agent, home-based agent, travel advisor, that's all you. If they say agency, they say host agency or anything like that, agency manager or anything, that's going to be IntelliTravel. So you're going to put IntelliTravel here. You're going to put the agency phone number. All of this information is going to be in that very first email that you received. Has IntelliTravel's address. It has its email. It has its phone number. It has your PIN and all of your agency identifiers. These are all the things that you need to register. So I recommend you even take a screenshot of that or even write it down on the front page of whatever book you're going to be keeping for notes. If you're a book person like me, go ahead and write that on the first page, because every registration that you do, that's self-registration, they're going to ask you for this information. I already know this by heart because I've been doing this for almost 5 years. So you go ahead and you enter IntelliTravel here, the phone number, and then it's asking for access level. So you're not the owner, you're not the manager. The owner or manager would be the host agency, right? That's IntelliTravel. You're an agent. So if this said agent, if it said travel advisor, if it said ITA, independent travel agent, if it said home-based agent, travel advisor, anything like that, that's what you select and that's who you are. This is super simple, and all you have to do is select create account. Carnival's pretty good about sending you an email right away to give you access, or they may be waiting for Intel. So sometimes it takes like 24 to 72 hours, because what they're going to do now is they're going to take this new agent registration and they're going to contact IntelliTravel, and they're going to be like, hey, you know, the so-and-so, does Arie Colburn with the birth date of this or whatever, this number, this email, is she an active agent with IntelliTravel? Once they verify, yes, she is an active agent, everything is all perfect, they're going to go ahead and give you access to the portal, and all of this is going to be communicated to you via email, right? I want to wrap this up because I wanted this to be short and sweet, right? I just wanted to explain the difference between, you know, registering in back office, doing it as with assistance, or registering by yourself on the travel agent portal. The easiest way to know which way you should register is to go ahead and look through that preferred partners book. When I became an agent, I printed that out. I didn't read it, but I printed it out. So I suggest print it out if you're like me and you want that, you know, physical. I'm big on books. I prefer the books over the computers. Go ahead and print it out. Go ahead and notate what suppliers you want to work with. You can even make a list. You know, these are the suppliers I want to work with right now. These are the ones I want to add, you know, in the future, right? And you read up, you learn, you know, how much commission you can make. You go ahead and get those important contact numbers somewhere where you could, within reach, just in case anything comes up, you have any questions or whatever. Go ahead and register. So you're going to find out if it needs to be a self-registration. Self-registration is when you go directly on Google to the travel agent portal and go ahead and register yourself. Assisted registration is when you're going to go ahead to your host agency and request registration. We already know how we do that with IntelliTravel. We go to help desk, then we go to IntelliHub. We're going to select submit a ticket, and then we're going to select supplier registrations from the drop down, and then that's going to prompt another drop down that's going to give you the suppliers that you have access to registering with. Remember, Vacation Express and Vax Vacation Access are two separate entities. Vacation Express, which is my personal favorite, and you'll find tutorials about Vacation Express on my YouTube page right here. That you have access to them from day one. Vax Vacation Access, you have to wait 60 days. That's the only supplier that you have to wait 60 days. So don't get those confused, right? And then you're going to have some suppliers like Carnival, like American Airlines, like even Rental. You see I have some pinned up here. So these are the ones I use mostly: Vacation Express, American, Rental Escapes for like home rentals and stuff like that. These you would have to register. So let's click on Rental Escapes real quick. Hopefully it doesn't log me in. And let me show you guys another way. So let's click here where it says sign in and then create a free account just in case. Okay, so this is a little different. This is just allowing me to create an account, but let's go back and see if there is travel. So it's right here, it says travel advisor, and see if there's a registration process. I do remember I signed up for this a while ago. Okay, so here it's saying to sign up, register for a free account. It's asking me for my name, telephone number, create a password for the account. It's asking me for my agency company name, and then you're going to put IntelliTravel, because anything that says agency, anything that says, you know, host or anything like that, that's IntelliTravel, right? And then you could put just me as an advisor. I'm not sure why you would add, you know, several people to this, but I'll always keep just me because the commission is, I want it to come to just me, right? And it's asking me to select ID type here. Now, as IntelliTravel, you have access to ARC, Clear, and IATA. You choose whichever one you want to use. If you wanted to use your Clear number, you could go ahead and submit it right here. If you wanted to use this number, you go ahead and submit it, or IATA, you choose. And then I always select the newsletters or anything they want to send you. Select them, because when it comes down to learning about any deals that they have, any promotions that they have for your clients, or even for you as a travel agent, any bonus bookings, any bonus commissions, they're going to email you. So go ahead and select that so you'll be the first to know, right? And once you select register, every supplier has their own system. Some of them will literally send you, I know Cruising Power, they'll literally send you your login information right away. But they still have a trial period where you have access to, let's say with Cruising Power, they gave you access to book like individual cruises, like a cabin or two. But then when it came to the group stuff, you had to wait 72 hours before they gave you full access. And I think that was them trying to verify to make sure you're a travel agent before they gave you full access. I'm not sure how their system works, but every supplier has different rules. Some of them will give you access to right away. Some of them you have to wait maybe a day or two for them to verify that you're an agent, and then go ahead and give you access. Either way, just go ahead and man your email and look out for those things. Check your spam box, and if, let's say 48 to 72 hours you haven't heard a response, whether you have registered self or with IntelliTravel. For IntelliTravel, go ahead and use that live chat box and inbox them. For when you do it self, go ahead and scroll to their email, to their portal. They have to have some kind of contact information. For travel agents, you could email them and say, hey, I tried to register for American Airlines, I haven't had a response. You don't want to go to IntelliTravel for this, because IntelliTravel does not register you for American Airlines. American Airlines registers you for American Airlines, so you go to them with your questions about registration. You don't want to go to Vacation Express about registering, because they don't register you for Vacation Express. IntelliTravel does. So it's very important to know what the method of registration is, to know who to go to when you have any problems. And if you're on my team, I implore you to always come to our chat when you have questions, because there are agents that will have been on the team for 2 years up to 8 and 9 years, right? So there's a lot of information, there's a lot of knowledge there that you could learn from. So don't be afraid to ask your questions. There are no stupid questions. You could post them here on this YouTube. You could post it in our private chat, you could post it in our private group, whatever you'd like to do. Just go ahead and get your questions asked so we could go ahead and get you to some money. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you enjoyed this and any of my other videos, go ahead and like, share, subscribe, all of the things, so that I could continue making